You didn't ask for it, and it's back again. It's the Q&A. You did ask for it. It's the Q&A show, the show where you ask questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. Strap yourselves in and get ready for some good questions that you guys asked. Mechapunk, they say, what's your favorite Bionicle prototype? And if one could appear in a set, what would it be? Great question. I love prototypes so much. My favorite Bionicle prototype has to be this gold Strack mask. I think Strack is super cool. I think that mask is gorgeous. And I love it so much. And this mock that Jafer built here that showcases this mask on a character, whoa, it's so cool. So hey, I mean, honestly, getting like that as a set, I'd love that. I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't think LEGO would do that, but I'd like it. But even still, that's my like personal favorite prototype. I hope that someday I can track that mask down because I love it. But alternatively, one of my other favorite prototypes has to be this mask here. I just think it looks cool. I think it's like it's just got such an interesting aesthetic that I imagine was for a Toa of Earth, because it very much looks like someone who's in the mines and underground working, that kind of thing. And I just think that would be a really interesting aesthetic for a Toa of Earth. So I would have loved to have seen whatever that could have been come to reality. It looks cool. Titus Manning, they ask, what's your favorite Ninjago set? Great question. I like the Bone Dragon that you're seeing on the screen right now. It's a really awesome concept, very well executed. It just looks menacing. It just looks cool. But if I'm saying my all-time favorite Ninjago set, that was my like kind of weird pick, which I always like doing. I would say the, what's it called? I never get its name right. The Source Dragon of Motion. I've built that. It's still on display in my Lego room, which is a very high honor for Lego sets. I tend to take a lot of Lego sets apart. It's just so well done. It's so compact. The techniques are beautiful. You get a bunch of those like trans orange little mini dragons as well. Like the designers were just on a field day when they made this. It's stunning. I would say it's the best Lego dragon ever, period. It's, so good. Fleur, or Flower, Fleur, they ask, what's your favorite Lego game? I really enjoyed the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. I played a lot of that with my brother as a kid. That was fun. We also played a lot of the Lego Batman game, the Lego Indiana Jones game. Both of those were great. But the other Lego game that my brother played and I watched him play as a kid, but I have so many great memories of it, is Lego Island 1 and Lego Island 2. So good, great game, great time. Love Pepperoni and the Brickster and the Infomaniac. Great characters, great world, the best. There's another good one. Also YouTube, they say, what's your saddest Lego memory? I just thought of another one. This is actually my saddest Lego memory. You can feel my voice breaking as I said that. It's still traumatic. I loved Rock Raiders as a kid, and I had this set. It came with like most of the Rock Raiders except for Chief, but pretty much all of them. And my brother and I, we went to like a playground with like a sand pit, and we were playing with them in the sand and stuff. And then when it was time to go, a lot of them were like buried in the sand, and we were like, all right, let's try and find them. And we couldn't. So I lost a lot of men that day. Lost a lot of noble Rock Raiders. But that was sad. I remember as a kid being very upset about that. But I have all those figures again now. All is safe. All is good. The other sad memory I have, which is has a good antithesis, has a good like happy alternative to it. Back when I lived in Chicago, back in around 2007-8-ish, my family and I lived in Chicago very, very briefly. And very briefly, it was 2 years. That's a long time. We went to the Lego store in the city of Chicago, and they had the old UCS Imperial Star Destroyer for sale. It was on sale. Very rare to see UCS on sale. It was on clearance, actually. I think it was like $40. It was insanely cheap. And that set now is like $1,000. And I remember saying to my dad, like, oh man, can we get it? And he was like, no, I don't think we have the space to be able to bring it back to Australia, which was a fair argument, but it was sad to let that go. Then all those years later, I'd be like, man, it's like $1,000 now. I really want it. And we had that awesome opportunity, but we passed it up and it was like, dang, that sucks. So, but my parents once, they were at a shop here in Australia, a shop that sells a lot of Lego. They had the new Imperial Star Destroyer for sale. Again, that set's like, close to $1,000. And we have like a friend who works at that store, and they were talking to my parents, and they're like, hey, the police came in at one point and they found this guy who stole one of the Imperial Star Destroyers, and the police have brought it back, and they're like, can you like sell this, or do you want it back, kind of thing? And they were like, well, the guy who stole it already built it and it's just kind of been shoved back in the box, like, can't really do that. They were speaking to the employee who my parents were friends with, and they were like, do you know someone who would want it? And they're like, yeah, Ben probably wants it. My parents came, they were told this story, and they're like, hey, if you make a donation to charity, you can have it. So my parents made a donation to charity, and we got the Imperial Star Destroyer for a very, very, very good price, which is rad. So, hey, just because my dad didn't buy me the old Imperial Star Destroyer, made up for it later by buying me the new, much better one for a very good price, which is so cool. So it's interesting how the sad memories become good. That's nice. Brick Reject, they say, what's your favorite Lego set ever? Here's 3. My favorite Bionicle set is the Saddest Dragon. It's always going to be, even though I did that one Q&A episode where I was like, Strack, I really like Strack. I do also really like Strack, but Saddest Dragon's always that number 1 spot. Otherwise, I really like the Lion Knight's Castle 90th Anniversary set, designed by Mike Psyche. So good. Everything I'd ever want in a castle. It's just, it's peak Lego. It's so good. But a set that I played with so much as a kid and I love to death is the Mobile Command Center, a Lego Agents set. There's so many ways you can play with that. There's so many hidden play features and things you can take out. And I remember buying that and playing with it for 3 days straight. I didn't stop when I was a kid. It's the best. VB5803, they ask, what do you think about a crossover between Lego and Hasbro where we get Bionicle Transformers? Interesting idea. You do actually see Hasbro collaborating with other companies and making like a Godzilla Megatron. Was it Megatron or I can't remember. Still, you do see various Transformers crossing over with other IPs. What if that happened with Bionicle? It's an interesting idea. I don't know how I feel about a Bionicle set that's just like not Lego, like if it was just a hard plastic Tahu that turns into, I don't know, Godzilla or a truck or something. I don't know if I want that. I sort of mentioned this in the last Q&A, like I like that Bionicle is Lego. I want the Lego bricks and aesthetic of it. If it went the other way around and Hasbro and Lego came together and they brought back Bionicle for like a one-off set, but it was a bioformer, it was a Bionicle that could transform. That could be really cool. I'd be down for that. I don't know if that would happen exactly. Be interesting, but I don't see it happening personally. I feel like Lego would be like, no, here's a transforming Ninjago set instead, But that'd be cool. Mooncracked says, what's the best Hero Factory or Bionicle bulk lot that you ever got? I actually did a whole video on it. It was this great bulk lot that had so many primarily Hero Factory sets, a few Bionicle sets as well. And I've slowly been going through that bulk lot since that video and building them all up. And like pretty much 99% of every set was all there. It was all complete. And I got it for a great price. It was really, really cool. So definitely go watch that video if you want to learn a little bit more about that. It was the coolest. But I think that's the thing, right? Getting a bulk lot that has like almost everything complete is always exciting. It can be nice to just get miscellaneous pieces and stuff, but if the intention is to rebuild those sets, being able to do that and have all the parts there is so good. Greenhow Creations asks, what's your favorite Bionicle song? Move Along by the All American Rejects from the old Toa and Nika commercials was the best. I remember when that song debuted, and it kind of debuted with that commercial and with the Toa and Nika and all that. As a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I still do. And I still have a great memory of singing that with a bunch of my Bionicle friends at Brickvention at a karaoke night that we did. And it was magical singing that with other Bionicle fans. Good time, great song, great commercials. Toa and Nika are awesome as well. There's so much to love about it. Nicholas Caver asks, do I take apart any of my Bionicle mocks or other creations and things like that? And if not, how do I keep them built? Well, I've been collecting Lego since I was very young, so like 20 odd years of collecting has amassed a lot of pieces for me, and as a result, I am able to keep a lot of my stuff built, as you can see here. I also am very grateful to have a good large Lego room with a lot of space in it, so I have the room for it and stuff. But certainly a big part of it, of course, because getting so many pieces is not the easiest thing. I do spend a lot of time tracking down good deals or good bulk lots and other stuff like that to get a lot of pieces, and I'm always looking for cheaper ways to obtain those parts and stuff like that. Just cheaper Bricklink stores, making deals with other AFOLs, trading, stuff like that. But not every mock can stay together. I've got a lot of big builds that I had to take apart for space and parts, whatever reasons. But yeah, a lot of it I'm able to keep together, which is great. Kaylee Leman 9566, they say, what's a G1 character that didn't become real that you wish did? The Batera. I love how they look. They look so just cool. Here's a mock by Lewis Hammond that reimagines what it could look like. They're so good. I remember reading about them and the lore for them as a kid. I thought it was awesome. I'd love to have that physically as a mock or as a set. That would have been great. There's also the Element Lords, like the Element Lord of Fire, Water, all that sort of stuff. I remember thinking they were cool, like this sort of embodiment of elements and then being a lord and all that sort of stuff. It's cool. I remember being very excited for that to become a set, and it never did. And again, reading the lore for that sort of stuff was exciting as a kid, so they'd be pretty cool as well, I reckon. And the idea of an Element Lord, that's just such an easy concept to build, isn't it? No matter how you do it, they're going to look cool. Arrow Random Man, they say, you've been building Lego for a while. Has there ever been a time where you're like, I wish this specific piece was real, and then it happened? Yes. There is a 1x2... No, sorry. There is a 1x1 brick that has studs on 2 sides. Typically, you can get this brick with a stud on 1 side or studs on all sides. But there's a lot of times where I'll build castle mocks and I want to have like bricks on the like edge of a wall or like the corner of a wall. And the 1x1 brick and the brick with studs on all sides, the Travis brick, it doesn't really allow you to place bricks on just the 2 corners and that's it. But this brick does. And there's been plenty of examples of stuff that I've built in the past where I've like tried to find a way around that, or I've had to do some sort of complex thing to make that geometry work. But then this piece came out in, I think Assembly Square was the first set it came out in, and it like blew me away, and I was like, finally, I've waited years for this. It was so exciting. So definitely that brick, which is a great one. And where is it? These are my drawers of it. That's not even all of them. I have so many of them now. I love them. They're the greatest. I love this brick so much. I use it all the time. That's it for this Q&A episode. If you've got a question that you'd like to ask, leave it in the comments below. I'll try and answer it in the next one. Or head over to my Discord server. There's a whole channel specifically to ask questions in. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.